everyone, and welcome to our Hack-A-Mall series. This is our Spring 2022 Hack-A-Malls, and we're going to get started with this beautiful wreath right here. And believe it or not, there are two Spring 2022 pieces in this beauty right here. So let's get started. And for this hack, you're going to need your Spring 2022 faux lamb's ear, your spring set of 2 wood beads, a wire cutter, E6000 or any glue that is permanent, a steel ring, any faux flowers of your choice. This is where you can get creative, some floral wire. All right, to start, we're gonna get our steel ring, and this is a full loop. We're going to need to cut it with our wire cutters. If you have a tool that's stronger than this, I would recommend that. You're going to have to press really, really hard and give it some, twistings like this, maybe 2 or 3 times. Press down really hard and it should open. I was able to do it, so here it is. Now we can take our tag off, and we have our ring that's ready for our wreath. Our next step would be to get our beads, and this one hurts a little bit, but we are going to cut them so that we can get all our beads out of here. Okay. But if you already have enough decorative beads around the house and you want to try this fun hack, then this is the perfect thing to do without having to get rid of your beads. So I got an 8-inch ring, and it's going to be big enough to put all the beads that came in your spring box. You're probably gonna have some beads left over. So with the leftover beads, you can always grab your tassels and maybe restring 2 or 3 back on here and use this as a fabric napkin ring and decorative piece, or even loop it around a vase if you want to decorate it. So don't get rid of your tassels, put them away for something that you can do with it later. I'll always bring stuff back. Now, like I said, if you wanted a bigger wreath, you could go out and buy more beads, maybe in a different color, and do 2 colors instead, or find a perfect paint color to match, or a complementing color and paint your beads, or they're already in that color, so you can do a bigger wreath. Now, the first thing we're gonna do is start stringing these on, so they should fit perfectly in here. Okay, so now that we've strung in enough beads to make sure that every inch of the steel bar is covered, we did have quite a few left over. Again, put these away, maybe another hack comes up, and we can create some napkin ring holders or add them to any other fun hack. Now, at the end, you are going to use your E6000 glue to put this back together, and it should be very permanent, and that way the little beads won't come off. But you do have to let it sit to dry, so we're going to do that all the way at the end and make sure that we don't move the item so that it stays nice and neat. Now, you might have a gap where you could fit another bead, but it's not a big deal because you are going to cover it with your faux plants. So you would put that part to the bottom, just move all your little beads depending on where your bottom is going to turn out to be. So I'm going to find my opened end again, which quite interesting. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that this bead is going to be on top. Make sure that at the bottom I have that metal showing, because I know I'm going to be covering it up. Now you get your faux lamb's ear. You could cut this or take it off more patiently. I'm going to just get rid of it. And you could use the lamb's ear from the spring box or buy new one. It doesn't have to be lamb's ear, it's just greenery. So anything green that gives you that spring vibe. Now I'm not going to keep these long stems. First, I'm going to plan out. In the spring box, there was 3 stems. I believe I'm going to be able to do this with just the 2 of them. So we're going to start with a crisscross like this with our greenery. And I'm going to cut them so they're not long like this. So we get our wire cutters once again, and we cut our stems off. Again, you can always cut more if necessary, and always plan out what you're going to do first, making sure that you're happy with your design. So I have my lamb's ear, and then I bought some lavender pieces, which I'm going to also separate from its larger stem. So I'm going to only keep the small stems. Again, if you have leftover material, if you are anything like me, I just start putting this stuff away, and I'm sure that I can use it for something coming up. So I think I'm going to keep myself balanced here and use 2 on each side. And again, plan it out before you commit, making sure that you like your design. And then we're going to put this all together with the floral wire. I have some flowers. Now these actually, one material I did not mention that I think would be easier to use if you've decided to use a flower bud is to use hot glue gun, because instead of using a floral wire to tie this big stem to the bead and the loop, you can just hot glue gun the bottom of this onto your base of lavender and green. So I'm going to cut this really close to the bud so that I can just hot glue gun this onto my base that I have there. I have 2 more. I think I might just keep it with the 1 for now, or let's see how it looks with all 3. Again, this is a perfect opportunity to choose the color palette that best reflects your home or you. And again, creativity is all up to what you're feeling in the moment, what relaxes you. Maybe there's a particular flower that you love. I love lavender. It really reminds me of spring. And it's also, even though it's fake, a little relaxing. Okay, so I think I like the 3 of them. So I'm going to start with my base and the floral wire, and then our last minute material, which was our hot glue gun. Okay, so now we're ready to start using our wire to set these florals in place. I'm going to start by first creating the crisscross and wiring them together. And this is our base for our flowers and anything else that you want to add on top. If you have maybe a little Easter or spring ornament, some sort of small wood piece that you would want to use, creating a floral base is great. So I don't cut the string until I know how much of it I need. And then I get my cutters and fold that in there. Remember again to use the part where your metal is showing, because we're going to cover it up. I think for this part, maybe about 2 inches. The other thing is I've decided to make my arrangement right across the top of it. You can always do it off-centered and off to the side. That's really popular nowadays. So feel free, again, to do what you think is going to work for you. So I'm placing the 2 here. I think I'm going to add floral wire by sets of 2. And I'm happy that I've decided to hot glue the flowers on top, because then that covers up any of this wiring that I have here. And again, by using the floral wire, it makes it a little bit less permanent, and you can update this wreath every season if you wanted to. And you can update the beads as well, so it's not permanent. All right, so I think that's nice and sturdy there. You can always do one big wrap of all the pieces together. Make sure that it is nice and safe in there so it doesn't fall off. Now that my hot glue gun is ready, I'm going to plan out again. Okay, so I did leave a little bit of a stem here, and it's going to fit perfectly inside all of this greenery that I have here. So I'm just going to place hot glue around the little stem that I left. And find a place to put it in between all the little stems I have from the greenery below. And now that covers up my wires really nicely. If you don't want to use a hot glue gun, you could wire this as well. It will still cover the wire below because of the petals. Or if you don't want to use any flowers, you could grab some leaves to cover up all this wiring in the center. Okay, so now that we've hot glue gun all our flowers, I am going to check if any of these florals need more wire, and they do. So the longer side right here could use a little bit more wire. Always check, obviously, if it's going to come off. And if you want to make this permanent, I would go ahead and also you could use some glue to put this floral down. But I think just a little piece right here will hold the floral just fine. And always do it from the stem, so that way you can cover up the wire with any leaves that you have here. And so let me test it again. And if anything is not as you like, my favorite tool is this hot glue gun. So I'm gonna glue a little bit here. And test again. Okay, so I think we are good. So to finish it off, we have to glue back the metal piece, and we're gonna use our E6000. Now, I think I have an idea. You could hang it off of this metal string, a metal ring with the beads right off a hook or anywhere you want to decorate, but why not maybe bring back this leftover that we have. So again, if you do like this idea, I cut it right down the middle so that I have a longer string, and I could have even cut it just at the other end so this string was much longer. So now we are utilizing more of the piece that we cut, and I think I'm going to use my handy dandy hot glue gun again and put this together. You could also maybe tie it, but how much do we love hot glue? It's super fast. It also burns your fingertips off. Okay, so wait until it cools a little bit. Don't do what I do. And now I have a way to hang it. You can either hang it with the loop up and the tassel. So now you have this nice tassel with a bead at the end that you could hang it from. And you've utilized more material from the spring box. Remember, if you are going to create one of these beautiful wreaths, make sure that you share with us in our Facebook group, the Deco Hacks or the Decocrators, or just tag us on any social media channel.